source or from excavation and service.
Okay, those will be added to the end. All right, we have our State of the Nation address with Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin, Jr.
Mr. Speaker, members of the council, pleasure to be before you again this month to update you on some of the things we've been up to for the last month. As I mentioned in the annual State of the Nation address, and as I proposed to the council, and as you tonight are prepared to consider, and I certainly hope we'll see final approval, we're poised to invest $40 million in early childhood education, which is a great investment. This is into capital projects in terms of replacing Head Start facilities. We know we have a first-class curriculum, wonderful men and women working in the programs that makes a difference in the lives of our people. We need to give them facilities that will match the great work that goes on in there. The Verna Thompson Head Start Act will certainly help do that. It was announced recently that we settled litigation through the Attorney General's office with part of the opioid industry in the amount of $75 million. It's our largest settlement in Cherokee history. We're not done with the opioid industry. Their conduct has brought a great deal of injury to the Cherokee people and the Cherokee Nation. And we're going to continue to pursue justice with respect to that industry's conduct. But $75 million will go a long ways towards meeting some objectives that members of this council have expressed, something that's certainly important to me and the Deputy Chief and our staff, which is to do more for behavioral health, to do more for addiction treatment. We've already been talking about that subject for some time. These dollars will help us further some of the plans that we've had on the books and that we continue to develop. So we're pleased that we can use those funds to further, again, what is an important objective. We recently marked a milestone in our citizenship, 400,000 citizens. That's a major milestone. It just shows that the Cherokee Nation continues to grow. We have a friendly competition with our friends, the Navajo Nation. They recently had announced that they were the largest tribe by population in the country. Now, it's not a race, but if it were, we'd be winning. But when it's not a race, you know, the more seriously, it shows growth and strength in Indian country. We want the Navajo to be strong. We want the Cherokee Nation to be strong. When Indian country is strong, measured in different ways, but certainly by numbers, we can exercise that strength in a lot of different areas, not the least of which is public policy, what goes on in Congress, etc. I had the pleasure of visiting Spavinaw recently, where we put up another set of solar panels on a community building. And that, I think, also shows some progress. The Spavinaw Youth and Neighborhood Center is a fine organization. The Washington County Cherokee Association, we traveled up to Oshaleta, fine organization under the law that this council passed 2 years ago, the Housing, Jobs, and Sustainable Communities Act. We continue to invest into green energy, sustainable projects at the local level, and I think it makes a difference in the lives of our people. I had a wonderful visit up to Veneta, where we are using a building that we acquired, Cherokee Nation businesses acquired, to create a cultural center at the crossroads of I-44 and Route 66. The Anna Mitchell Cultural Center, the Deputy Speaker was there at an event in which we unveiled the design. It's going to help further tell the Cherokee story, not only to our people in that part of the Cherokee Nation, but to the region and even international visitors as people come through Route 66 and I-44 and stop and learn more about the Cherokee Nation. Mr. Speaker, pleasure to be before you. I watched with great interest the discussion at one of the committee meetings today, and I have to applaud it, because every opportunity that I have to push back against the phony idea that the Cherokee Nation is not a federally recognized tribe, as Chief of the Cherokee Nation, not only will I do it, I took an oath that compels me to do it. Anytime someone attacks the validity of the Cherokee Nation, I'm going to stand up against that. I saw that on display today. It's much appreciated. Widow.
Thank you, Chief. Unfinished business, none pending. Committee reports. We have monthly reports. We have our Cherokee Nation Business CEO, Chuck Garrett. Are you there, Chuck?
Good evening. Hi, Speaker. It's Molly Jarvis, and I am filling in for our CEO this evening.
Hey, Molly.
Hi. So I am happy to be with you this evening and report on some of the activities of Cherokee Nation businesses. We just wrapped up our fiscal year 2021, and happy to report that what we're seeing as we continue to close our books is a strong, in fact, record financial results on a consolidated basis. Our Cherokee Federal Business Unit had a very successful year with our government contracts, and in fact, several large government contracts, and our gaming business continues to see very positive trends. On the federal side, we are implementing President Biden's vaccine mandate, and just to let you know that this does apply to about 3,500 of our employees. We are working to communicate that to our employees, working very closely with our legal department and HR to make sure all employees are aware of this mandate from the federal level. And in terms of COVID response, we as CMB have implemented a testing program as of September 1st, where we are testing all of our employees 2 times per week to further protect employees from the COVID pandemic. So we're very excited about the end and how we wrapped up 2021. And then as we proceed into this year, very excited about new things to come for FY 2022. And then I just have a couple of other updates for the group. All of this really started with our very first business, Cherokee Nation Industries in Stillwell in 1969. And at the heart of this are our employees. And we want to honor a very long-time employee who has just retired. Miss Mary Van had 44 years experience at our Stillwell facility. And, the unmatched dedication of these longtime employees is, like I said, the heart of our business and helps us continue to grow these and places CMB at the forefront of all the industries that we operate in. So we want to thank Ms. Van for her many years of loyal and dedicated service, and we would not be the company or community partner that we are if it weren't for her and all of the employees that paved this way since the 1970s to today. Another item to provide an update on September 24th, we celebrated 1 year since the passing of the Cherokee Heritage Center Act of 2020. And with that, we proudly completed the safe and successful transfer of the Cherokee National Archives to a new temporary home at the Cherokee National Research Center in Cherokee Springs Plaza. And I want to personally thank Chief Hoskin, Deputy Chief Warner, and the council for approving and signing this historic legislation, making it possible for us to partner with the Cherokee National Historical Society to preserve the nation's foremost collection of historic Cherokee-related documents and cultural artifacts. This center is going to provide safe and secure storage for our historic Cherokee-related documents and cultural artifacts, and will open to the public later this year. Will allow the public to access these documents in 2 research rooms for artists, scholars, and community members. And a couple of events that we have upcoming. The Cherokee Art Market, again, this year is shifting to a virtual platform. It will take place December 6th through 17th. We developed this concept last year in response to the public health concerns, but also found that offering the market online greatly expanded the reach and visibility of each artist and gave them the capability of selling their works across the globe. And then we are proud to have Nanyehi at Hard Rock Live again this year. It will be October 29th through 30th. And it'll be the 11th production of this Nanyehi performance. So I think that is wraps up the report from CMB, unless there are any questions for me.
Does anybody have any questions? Good report, ma'am. You have a good evening.
Thank you, Speaker. You too.
All right, that moves us down to old business, none pending. New business. Number 1, Dr. Dobbins.
Confirming the reappointment of Gabe Mosteller as a board member of the Economic Development Trust Authority. I move for its approval.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor? All opposed? All right, motion carries. Number 2, Keith Austin.
This is a resolution confirming the reappointment of Thomas Merrill as a board member of the Economic Development Trust Authority. I put that in the form of a motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 3, Councilwoman Vasquez.
This is a resolution confirming the reappointment of Amber Lynn George as a board member of the Cherokee Nation Foundation. Move for its approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Number 4, Julia Coates.
This is a resolution confirming the reappointment of Diana Mayfield as Commissioner of the Housing Authority of the Cherokee Nation Board of Commissioners, and I move for its approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Number 5, Councilman Kidwell.
This is a resolution confirming the appointment of Kendall Melton as Commissioner of the Housing Authority of the Cherokee Nation Board of Commissioners. I move for its approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Number 6, Councilman Crittenden.
Okay. This is an act relating to codifying the Board of Education for Sequoia Schools. Put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 7, Councilwoman Teehee.
This is a resolution confirming the appointment of Stephen Hare as a board member of the Cherokee Nation Sequoia High School Board of Education. I put this forward in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I believe Mr. Stephen Hare is here. Sir, you want to come up into the council room for a minute? Well, congratulations on your appointment, sir.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, from Tahlequah for the most part. Something interesting about me, my family were part of a job placement program in the 60s, moved to California where I was born. And I think the earthquakes kind of got to their nerves, and so they moved back to Tahlequah in the area. My dad's from Kenwood area. My mother's from Tahlequah. Raised our family here, got a daughter that's a junior at Sequoia High School, and so just looking forward to being an asset to the board and seeing the school prosper.
Does anybody have any comments for Mr. Hare? Congratulations, sir. Thank you.
very much.
Yes, sir. All right, number 8, EO.
Yes. This is a resolution confirming the reappointment of J. Blake Fletcher as Commissioner of the Cherokee National Environmental Protection Commission. I put this in form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Number 9, Joe Deere.
This is a resolution confirming the appointment of Marilyn Vann as a Commissioner of the Cherokee Nation Environmental Protection Commission. I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Could I be added as a sponsor?
Did you get that, Shelley?
Okay, well, it just didn't show here.
Okay. EO2. All right, number 10, Victoria.
Yes, this is an act, this is a corrected version of an act that came out of the September 30th committee, and it's the Verna D. Thompson Early Childhood Education Act of 2021. I move for its approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Number 11, Councilman Sam.
This is a legislative act for the Comprehensive Building Naming Act of 2021. And I put this in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
We have a discussion, Speaker.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got to have a discussion, so that's the
Okay.
point of order being
Sure.
called. So, this act is requesting the council to circumvent the law that we already established to name a building after someone in which we have not been provided a reason why we're going to be naming it after. One reason buildings get named after a person is a person or family has a major financial contributor towards the building portion, such as the stadium or performing arts center when we see their name on there. And here we're left to ask the question as to why the naming of the said building because of possible family financial ties to the tribe. And I don't want that appearance of our tribe to start naming buildings after individuals who may have had a family name which may have financial ties back to the tribe. Since we've not been provided a reason as to why we are naming a building after someone, we need to continue to follow the law, which is the council coming up with a name within a year after its completion. And if the administration wants to send a name down and make a suggestion after the building's being completed, then we'd take that into consideration as well. That's not been done here, and circumventing the law is what we're requesting this bill to do. And so today, I suggest that we make a motion to table and follow the law. We can always bring the names forward after the buildings are completed, and we can discuss that as why we're naming it that way instead of passing it here today, just naming buildings without even the ground being broken.
I'd like to hear from our attorney and get his opinion on that, too.
We'll have to look at the legislative history a
Yeah.
little bit more, if that's what you're asking, or you're asking about the procedural issue.
Yeah,
of the
like-
motion. Let me pull up the legislative history and look. I can tell you, I looked at it previously, didn't see an issue, but I haven't looked too hard.
Counselor Legg, if I might just comment back to you on that. The law is very continuing of what we're doing here, but more specifically, what it does is it asks in the backside of it is for a period not to exceed 1 year from the facility commences operation, should name the building, and it should come through the council, must be designated pursuant to this act. And we're striking that part out. So instead of waiting until after the building is being completed and then naming it, we're striking the portion of the law to go ahead and create a pathway to name these buildings today. Whenever, we just got through passing the funding aspect to build these wellness centers, and we're already naming them before we've even been built, and we haven't been provided, this council hasn't been provided a reason why we're going to name certain buildings, after certain people, or, what inputs the council might have or inputs the administration might have.
Point of information. I thought I heard a motion to table. Was I mistaken?
Yes, ma'am, I was making a motion. to
Okay,
table.
the proper Robert's Rules of Order, there's a motion to table, there's a second, which I did, and there is no discussion on a motion to table. It goes immediately to a vote. So just wanted to say that.
All right. So this vote will be in favor of tabling. Opposed will be against tabling. So all in favor of tabling this vote? Aye. All opposed? Aye. So it passes. Yes, motion carries. Now we're going to, motion denied, yeah, the motion is
denied. You just have
denied.
to make a motion
It's to table.
Table.
Absolutely, yes. Now we are going to vote on this. So this will be a vote on the Comprehensive Building Naming Act. Aye is you for it, nay is you against it. So all in favor of the Comprehensive Building Act, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Aye. Did you get that, Shelley? Okay. Motion passes. Okay, are there any announcements? Okay, no announcements?
Speaker.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. You're right. I always get ahead of myself. All right, this first one will be coming from the Resource Committee. Councilman Callison, would you take that?
Council to be amended in the consideration of the following resolution, land and trust, day schools. I put this in the form of a motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. From the Education Committee, Sean.
All right, this paper, this note says Resolution 150, and that's That's referring to 21098, is that right? In our book? Okay. So I'll put that in the form of a motion, Resolution 150 Anniversary of Sequoia Schools.
We have a motion. Yes.
Sorry, before we vote, can I offer a friendly amendment? It looks like it says commemorating, and I believe it's supposed to be commemorating. A resolution recognizing, commemorating, and celebrating, it says commemorating.
What
So,
page are you on?
well, this is it was
on the
off of the
agenda?
agenda, yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, we have a friendly, so all,
We need to make, I have one more comment on that.
Speaker. Just a second. Should I go ahead and read this full thing in case there's any doubt?
no, I don't believe so.
Okay, thank you.
One comment I was going to make on there, it's a good comment. I think that, I'm not sure who authored this bill, Cameron Fight. I don't know if that was who actually authored it. But one thing that's in there that's good for Sequoia schools, a lot of the buildings are old. There's a lot of chance, the opportunity to expand it. That's what I would like to see. I know the former speaker had passed a resolution requesting us to go and negotiate with the BIE on trying to get expanding and building new buildings up there. Some of them are outdated, but more or less just trying to overall expand and overhaul the school. There is a part in here that the Cherokee Nation supports an investment of a minimum of $20 million of capital investment back into Sequoia High School, something that's greatly needed, and I'm glad to see that in here, and I'm looking forward to hearing some of the ideas coming from our Education Committee, working with the administration on what we're going to do up there. So, appreciate it.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, it carries. Out of Community Service Committee, Dora, would you take that one?
Yes, it's a resolution certifying compliance with 24 CFR 1003.604 citizen participation. And I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Our next tribal council meeting will be held on Monday, November 15th at 5 at the tribal headquarters. Any announcements? Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to offer our prayers and condolences to the family of Cheyenne Lolo Dye. She was only 25 when she passed away. Her services were yesterday. She was a Cherokee education student at Northeastern State University. She leaves behind 3 children and her husband of the home, and a bright, shining light put out way too early.
Anybody else? Sean?
Yes, Cherokee citizen, veteran Robert Young passed away recently, and also Bugs Hensley from Peavine, Oklahoma. Good man, firefighter, all-around good guy. Thank you.
Doctor?
Michael Kaufman, Warner, Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
Myra Freeman, Muldrow, Oklahoma.
And Dewey Tanner from Oak Hill, near Jay. Is there anything else? Okay, I need one more motion. All right, we're adjourned.